shack at. The bottles getting nifty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Lead the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon. We be pubbing.
What up, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, June 1st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Was a roller coaster ride yesterday. I had very little invested in the early part of the card, and I was heavily invested in the late part of the card. Looking back at it, it was unfortunate that I didn't end up in the black. The only real mistake, I should have listened to Sharpie on, staying away from the White Sox, or in that manner, maybe I could have flipped to the Angels, but I kind of thought Lance Lynn was going to, this time of the year where he starts pitching better. But the Rockies and Dinelson Lamet, who knows what he was going to do in his first start? I should have just left that alone. Who cares, where the market takes you? I was so invested and there was so much right. I started out poorly with White Sox -1, a loser. Pittsburgh, San Francisco, first 5 under 4, a loser. Cincinnati, first 5, a loser. But then I started heating up. I had the Cincinnati full game, Mets first 5, Mets full game. Those are all 3+ money spots. And then I was unlucky that the Mets team total over 4 was a push. Minnesota, Houston, first 5 under 4.5, and full game under 8.5. Louis Varland did everything I could have possibly dreamt. And Hunter Brown, kept his team in it. Fucking Mashinsky comes in. When a reliever comes in with mush in his name, you're in huge trouble. Hunter Brown battled, and then mush screwed it up, and unfortunate. The Twins should have, twirled a shutout in that game. That was upsetting. Seattle, New York, first 5 under 4. Seattle, New York, full game under 7.5. That was perfect. Except, and I knew that the one thing that really bothered me in the end was I didn't want to pay the juice for the Mariners first 5. I should have just left it out. I thought it was going under. And when it's going under, it means low volatility. And I still took Seattle first 5 -1/2. If either eat the juice or let it go. Seattle full game -1 was a push. I can work with that, but it was disappointing, and it's so much invested, and then of course that Seattle Yankees game doesn't end until so late, and then I'm just staring at the ceiling, going over the mistakes. What are the mistakes that happened? I pulled out last year's record, and I was like, when did we start heating up? And it was June that we started heating up, but we had this monster August, September, but it was June. Like, I'm looking at it now. Last year we ended up 24.71 units, ROI plus 4.22%, average line -106. That's the average line I have right now, -106. We were 316 wins and 270 losses, 53.9%. It's all right there. So I hope we get rolling. We have to get rolling. Bankrolls aren't invincible, and got to Belmont in 10 days. Justin McElvey in the house. Rockies team total over 4.5 at +112. Stacks play. They heating up. Mr. Lewis, Astros run line. I'm shocked that the market's gone against that, Mr. Lewis. Same thing I thought. The market moves today have been nothing short of shocking. To think that Gausman and Scherzer wouldn't get. Now, Scherzer's now being bet. The public is now betting Scherzer. But this line had been out there for 16, 17 hours, and the line move was, and the big bets were all on the Phillies. The public has come in. But that was shocking. Now, remember, Scherzer and Taijuan Walker became close last year. And Scherzer and Taijuan Walker, Scherzer was teaching Taijuan Walker. So it's an interesting spot there. But to think that the only spot here where the market, even the Hunter Green, Chris Sale under, That's being bet towards the over right now. That confused me. The only spot, like, how is Framber Valdez not being bet? The only spot where the market moved briskly and confidently in one direction is the under in the Padres Marlins game. And I was so caught up in the Scherzer and Gaussman start trying to figure out what are these, sharps or books or whatever it is seeing in Peralta and Taiwan Walker or the Brewers and the Phillies, that I missed it. Now, when it goes from 8.5 to 8, it's not the end of the world. Also, the 4.5 to 4, some wins will become pushes. Pinnacle moved that first 5 to 3.5 in San Diego, Miami. So I doubled up on the unders in San Diego, Miami, and I didn't get very good lines. And it was my fault for being just so caught up in my action yesterday. And of course, the Gaussman Scherzer start. So we'll break all of this down. There's Razor Sharp Picks. I hope you heard the news. Our man Razor Sharp Picks quitting his 9 to 5. Tomorrow's his last day. That's what happens when you have a work ethic and a skill set and you believe in something, you fight for it, and you work hard. He richly deserves all the success that will come his way. I hope to stay a part of his shows because he's absolutely money in the bank. We are going to be together Saturday for the Belmont, so don't worry about that. Razor's horse of the day, Delaware Park, race 4. Mike Colton, morning line 6-1. Razor Sharp Picks. Horse pick of the day is in. Let's get that here locked in. Morgan Spooner on Padres first 5 money line -120, full game money line -115. Got the and under 4.5 in the Brewers Blue Jays game. Now that is starting to move to the under. That makes sense. And you're right, Morgan. The market has moved swiftly, believing in Musgrove. So maybe that becomes an addition for me. I like where you're at, Morgan. That's a strong early card. Rocco Rogers in the house, series business. JW Larry Garr on the Padres Marlins under 8's his play of the day. I'm on that with you, Larry. That was pretty clear and evident. The line moving briskly to the under, the big bets coming in on the under. It's hot in Miami, so the roof will be closed. You have, Musgrove, who certainly looked elite in his last start and has to make up for some lost time. Morgan said, you must have been going nuts watching the Yankees game. It was tough. Man. I mean, Morgan says, I was on the Seattle side. I can't understand how that was a foul ball. You could see the mark off the line. It was very... And then you knew he was going to strike out immediately. France was going to strike out as soon as he got back in the box. That was really tough. The whole thing was tough. Now, I had the unders, but... Dommy Gun Ricci, we have missed you. Says he's been working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, been missing you guys. We miss you, Dommy Gun Ricci. Can you run with us for Belmont? We need you, man. Who knows Big Sandy better than Dommy Gun Ricci? Mally Mal in the house. Mike M. Trout RBI quick yesterday, Mike M. Mike M, you're running so nice. Jay Smooth, a new worker. Dav Fence had killed by the Orioles first 5, mostly by bad managing by Brandon Hyde. There's Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Great to see you, Nate Dogg 420. Dommy Gun is on the Mets first 5 team total over 2.5 and Mets most hits. It's very interesting. I like that. All right. I like that. God, I just saying that I like what you've done here. Just go immediately back to Wayne's World when he's perusing the contract. I like what you've done here. Mally Mal. It says every time I watch, I hear you guys were on the other side of my L's. Hate missing the show. Yeah, we work well together. Yesterday was a great example. But look, I didn't come out in the black yesterday, but I knew to stay off the Rangers. And I'm a believer in Joey Wentz. If he just has a little bit of movement on his fastball, he was great last year. But I didn't have the balls to step on the Tigers. But there's good work being done here. We just got to put it all together, man. Newkirker says, I think Slatsy's on a good thing, fading Manoah. I'm happy that you guys are cashing fading Manoah. I expect him to improve as the season goes on. Could be wrong. Slatsy says late to the show was counting my Alex Manoah money. Please don't send him to the minors. Can't think of a pitcher since Nick Pivetta that has made me more money. I love it. I love it, Slatsy. I love it. Subhuman Gaucho in the house. Red Girl BJ says Mets is the play today. Well, there was all the big bets came on the Phillies until the publics come in last 2 hours. So, but I get it, and we'll break it down heavy. Polo this, polo that. RVD 420. Great to see you guys. Polo this, polo that. OG Low Bagger says Vegas just doesn't respect Eric Spoelstra. Denver probably sweeps if he can win one game, it'll be tonight, says Polo this, Polo that. Dominic Reach says Gausman has lost at home as a big fave twice and has won by only one the other 2 times. Joe Yurkovich says a true horse capper smokes cigars. Not one that was addicted to Export A Gold regulars for 17 years. So I can smoke no tobacco. I have not had a puff of tobacco. God, it's got to be 12 years.
Ooh.
Hey, I'd like to be surprised by how I die. Joe Yurkovich, Nate Dogg, 420.
If you want to be surprised about how you die, you have to stop drinking, Jimmy. We know this.
I don't know.
That liver cirrhosis?
I don't know. 1 day a week?
Nah, you're going down. We know it.
I don't think so. Jack Rosenblatt in the house. Razor Sharp Pick says, so happy Jose will be on today. Can't wait to break down Boston-Denver game 1. There's Danielson in the house. Billy Friedrich says, horses, they need some graphic music and Jose making a horse noise. Jose's horse noise and Bobano's horse noise. They both have a skill set. Cover Kings on Scherzer over 6.5 Ks. Londo says, whoever the baller was to bet Rockies big yesterday is probably pissed off they lost. Yeah, well, it's messed me up. But, and I knew I was screwed immediately. And they, the team couldn't even deliver one run. Michael Johnson says Padres first 5. We're going to go over all that. We're going to go over that soon. We don't need to force things or rush. We have 7 MLB games, 1 NBA game. Tommy Gunn also bet Padres under 7.5 and the Padres minus 115. Yeah, is it at 7.5 now? That would make me feel better about being late to the party. Yes, it is. Okay, it makes me feel a little better about being late because I got the 8. TJ says your cap was all over the Tigers plus 1.5. You're right, TJ. I know. I'll start trusting things a little more. All right. Billy Friedrich in the house. There's a cacophony of horse noises. Christopher Commentini, Sean Pulliam, DX Files had my best day in MLB yesterday plus 9.8 units. I love it, DX. Love it, DX. Slow Jams Arsenal in the house. Polo this, polo that. Phillies money line and the under 8.5 at plus 400. All the sharp money. Joey said it's possible to die by capping. Yes, it's possible. Polo this, polo that. Phillies money line under 8.5. All the sharp big bets are coming on Phillies money line, and it threw me for a loop. Remo says the idiot comes on and boosts you for not smoking tobacco. It's okay, Rem. It's okay. Look, that was a very important move that I made in my life. I had to get rid of those Export A Gold regular size, man. Feels good. Alex Hills, it's nice to be able to go and look at Aaron Gaza says Phillies will eat tonight. Great to see all you guys. Let's get to work. Jorge, don't play in the house. Phillies Mets over 8.5. Sweaty Butcher ready to get to work. Nate Dogg Gausman over K's and Cincinnati money line. Dave Redling, Marlins first 5. Nuggets money line parlay plus 153 profit at BetMGM. TJ says if you put any stock in umpires, Philly Mets ump is 2-8 to the under. Let's get to work. Let's bring in the host of Say Hey Plays of the day. There's still time for this young man to heat up. It'll be the opposite of last year. Last year, he was extremely hot, and then he slowed down late. This year, he's going to slow early and get extremely hot late. I believe in the young man. Please welcome, man, known somehow for his tits, Jose Bouquett. Jose, how are you?
Good. Jimmy, I tell people often, I think you get I would say not as worried, more worried about my record than I do.
Yes.
You get worried about it. And
yes, I do.
Plenty of time. We're stress-free here. Does it keep me up late at night thinking about how sometimes I might be a bad handicapper? Sure. But guess what, Jimmy? We wake up, we cap, and we win, damn it.
Well, let's get to that winning part right now.
By the way,
And
Christopher Comentini said we color coordinated today. So look at us.
it was not the plan. All right, let's get to work. 1:07 p.m. Eastern. This game, these first two games are absolutely fascinating. 1:07 p.m. Eastern, Milwaukee Brewers 29-26, 13-14 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 29-27, 14-10 at home at Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. It is beautiful up here. The roof is open, 74 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour out to center, 6.5 to 6.9 miles per hour. Excuse me. All right, let's go over to the line history here for this one. Oh, that's the total. Let's get the line history up here. And here we go. This one opened at minus a 185 for the Blue Jays. There was no move last night. It was 4 cents. I couldn't figure it out. For the life of me, I couldn't figure it out. Then this morning, there started to be a move. I don't care as much about that move, this morning, because I know that's just, the public getting involved. And then in the last 45 minutes, a giant move towards the Milwaukee Brewers. There was a 16-cent move at 10:37 a.m. That's a big move for Pinnacle. Big move for Pinnacle. Let's see if it's related to the opening day or the opening lineups. Opening day. Let's see if it's related to the lineups here right now. Let's pull them up and see if they're available, because that 16 cents must be, a big bat, Vladdy or Bobo out of the lineup. And they're all in the lineup. They are all in the lineup. Springer, Bichette, Guerrero, Varsho, Chapman. Who else do you need?
Danny Jansen?
This is wild. This total opened up at 8.5 at 9:05 in the morning. It moved to 8. There was pretty constant movement to the under, but if you back that under, that means that you believe that Freddie Peralta can throw. Freddie Peralta, 5-4, 4.64 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, 54 and a third, 58 Ks, 23 walks, 8 home runs. In his last start, he got lit up and smoked. 2 and a third, 8 hits, 10 runs. Just 4 were earned, but it was really ugly. 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, and 1 walk. On the road, he has a 6.45 ERA. His K to walk ratio is 23-12. Opponents rating 300 against him. Why on earth do they believe that the Jays bats won't get to him? Going up against Kevin Gausman, 3.03 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 68 and a third, 89 K, 16 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he looked great. 3-1 win at the Twins. That was right after the team meeting. He went 5 and a third, 4 hits, just 1 earned run, 8 Ks, and 5 walks. He has been excellent at home this year, 38 Ks to 5 walks, only 3 home runs allowed in 30 innings. The Jays are smashing righties in May. The Brewers are not, 222, 672 OPS. Brewers bullpen's being terrible in May. The Jays bullpen's being pretty good. So why on earth would this be moving towards the Brewers and also moving towards the under? Joe Yerk says the line is off. Says, I can tell you that. Line should be minus 145, no more. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett. Slatsy says, I think Gausman shows up today. So do I. Take it. Oh, and Mr. Lewis says because Blue Jays battery ain't right today. We have Heineman at catcher.
Oh man, but the chat today is on fire today, Jimmy.
They are.
I'll tell you. No. Shout out to everyone in the chat as always. Barry Smith was coming in hot for my neck to start the show, and he drops a Blue Jays money line. Bet in there minus 165, minus 190, whatever it is now. So that just made me chuckle. Shout out to you there, Barry Smith. Before we get into the baseball, Jimmy, let's start off with some horses real quick. Because Billy Friedrich mentioned it. I've already bet my guy Martin Drexler's 2 horses today at Woodbine. So shout out to him. And I did bet Razor's horse of the day. So shout out to Razor as well there. But moving on. Shout out to the Blue Jays. I really thought this game was just like an easy pass game for me. In reality, we've talked a lot about Freddie Peralta on this program. I think he's fallen out of your favorite sons, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like Woody. Put that doll away. Not he got Buzz Lightyear, aka Drew Smiley now. So that's nice to hear for you. But I passed this game. I did lean under. I opened it up. I saw it open up 8.5. Now it's down to an 8. That's interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting game because we obviously know the Blue Jays offense. It's allegedly good, and we know it has the names, but it just feels like to me it can be very hit or miss. And shout out to the people that put like Brewers first 5 in there. I do think that Freddie can pitch well after such a horrific start. I think that there's enough dog in him to come back and bounce back well here. But if I'm picking a side, it's really just the Blue Jays, just because the Brewers offense this month has been horrible. I should say these last 2 weeks, 29th, 68 weighted runs created plus. It's just not good. So I don't want to back the Brewers ever. And everyone knows how I feel about them full season too. I think they fold, and I think the Cardinals come back and win this division. So I pass.
And I moved on the Cardinals to win the division at plus 260.
260. Oh,
yeah.
That's not. Oh, okay. Well, at least you got it in. And I heard your White Sox bet too, plus 750. What it was? So I mean, I like the odds.
Oh, sorry, that's 2022. Yeah, I got and I got 525 for Orioles winning the AL East.
I like that.
But yeah, I think I put myself in nice situations with those 3 bets.
So are you going to bet Blue Jays futures? Because I remember we've had conversations about, because they're in this extremely difficult stretch in
June 23rd.
Extremely difficult stretch in their schedule coming up.
June 23rd is the day. Big Ragu in the house. Johnny Gunn says pitchers' home road splits are telling. Blue Jays first 5. Line movement is more so for the full game, in his opinion. Barry Smith is also on the under and pushing me to move on the under. And
I like it too.
I think that if you got in before the market move, that you can feel confident in it. 71% of the tickets are on the under, and 57% of the cash. The market is a little strange here. 23% of the tickets are on the Brewers and 26% of the cash. 29% of the tickets, 43% cash is on the over. There's Nutflush Allen in the house. Says if you listen to the whispers, he will put money in your account. He did whisper the Giants team total over 3.5 yesterday.
Gotcha.
And Dommy Gun says, I'll take it right up the OTB to see where the locals like Saturday. The OTB in my neighborhood is closest, so they all hang there. Look, I'm on Forte. I expect this to be the best line that we get on Forte. We'll see what he is for the Classic, but I don't know if we'll ever get 5-2 on Forte again. So I'm on Forte. And yes, Tappet Trice will improve from a 7th place finish in the Derby. He'll probably come 2nd in the Belmont. I'm going to make a big bet on Forte, and everything will be single to Forte.
Noli Knows has a question for you, Jimmy. He's curious to know what percentages that you're looking for.
Oh, it's pretty simple. I like a smaller amount of tickets. I probably like about 30% of the tickets and about 65-70% of the cash. It's always been that way. It was that way all last year.
30-70.
That would be my perfect spot, I would say.
Yeah, and I'll say that we've fading the 99% spots also is a good thing to do, seemingly.
All right, I can't move here on this one. I'm gonna have to stay off. I wanted to back Gausman. Just like after the team meeting, when things are going awry for the Blue Jays, Gausman goes on the mound and everything cleans up. So I expect. I don't know. I gotta stay off of it.
Well, at least you've got a great locker room chemistry with guys like Anthony Bass in there. So
yeah, that's not been good. It's not been good, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about this spot. I'm gonna have to stay off of it. These first two games I stared at for hours last night, trying to figure out why do people believe Freddie Peralta is going to throw well, and
it was like the Teheran shit last night, right?
Yeah, man.
So.
And Teheran was excellent.
Yep.
So, all right. We move on. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Phillies 25-30, 11-20 on the road. The New York Mets 29-27, 14-9 at home. Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's take a look at the weather here in Queens. 81 Fahrenheit, 5.7 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in. And then it actually becomes out after a couple hours, 7 miles per hour out to left field. But the wind's not a big deal. It's warm. We could bring up a Ballpark Pal for this small card as well. That might help. So to give you an idea of the Blue Jays situation, and then, of course, Citi Field. In Toronto, we have minus 3% home run rate, minus 2% runs, which is a little surprising. Here at Citi, it's minus 9% home run and minus 11% runs. BJ says Mets win. Walker is dog shit and vulnerable. You know, Walker and Scherzer became extremely close last year. I talked a little bit about it off the top of the show. Scherzer and Walker just would watch Scherzer. Watch him, and Scherzer would break things down. And so it's going to be interesting to watch these two.
Would you say it's like our relationship?
No, I wouldn't. They only had 1 year together. 6 2/3, 10 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 K, 1 walk, and a 6-4 win at the Braves. He looked very good in a tough situation in Atlanta. On the road, he's been abysmal this year. That was his first strong road start. 6.75 ERA, 311 opponents batting average, 6 home runs. Max Scherzer has been unhittable at home. Unhittable. 4 hits in 11 innings, a 114 opposing batting average. He's only thrown 11 innings at home. It's absolutely wild. Dommy Gunn says Walker's issues has always been on the road. Yeah, no, I get that. And is this going to feel like he's on the road, or is he going to try to show you guys who you didn't re-sign? Johnny Gunn says reverse line movement on the over. These spots have been money all year. Hammer the over. Let's pull this up. So Taijuan Walker, Max Scherzer. The Phillies aren't hitting righties. In May, 249, 698 OPS. Mets first righties, 243, 721 OPS. Phillies bullpen, 3.65 ERA, 1.39 whip, being quite a bit better than the Mets bullpen, 4.77 ERA, 1.27 whip. Ramon says, why is the line moved to the over? Well, I can't. It's a very, very difficult thing to figure out. Let's talk about this move right now. We see 9s on the board. You have to think that they don't have high expectations of Scherzer in this spot. Pinnacle's not moved it, moved it back to 8.5. Pinnacle moved it to 9 at 8:30 this morning. So this opened at 8.5, juice to the over. First little bit of moves were to the under. Then it gets up to 9, then drops down to 8.5. So, I mean, it's very, very confusing. Let's pull up the money line history here for this one. So we got the total. Now the money line here, it was so wild to see the market not moving to the New York Mets last night. It was huge bets placed on the Phillies. Now we have a move to the Mets. So there was no move towards the Mets until 10:30 this morning. 10:30 this morning, there was a 15-cent move in one quick hop, but there's now been a 16-cent move to the Mets. And when we get into the cash flow for this spot, we have 22% of the tickets and 44% of the cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. So big bets are coming in on the Phillies. 21% of the tickets and 35% of the cash on the over, and that's enough to move it a half run to the over. So what is it telling you?
Sorry. Could you say that percentages one more time on the over?
Yes, on the over. It's gone up a half run at most books. Pinnacle's now brought it back to 8.5 after putting in 9. Only 21% of the tickets are on the over and 35% of cash.
Wow. That's a sign.
It is a sign.
Someone's getting ahead here. Feels like both of them. I like Scherzer now. He's seemingly found it, and Dommy Gunn preaching the Walker home road splits is interesting. But obviously, like you said, maybe this isn't a road start for him since he was just here.
Yeah, Johnny Gunn's loving this reverse line movement on the over. How are you attacking this one? Take it away, Jose.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. I had some leans. Shout out to Tommy Gunn as well. I did his show with him this morning. It was a great time. We talked about these games, and we talked about this game. He likes the Mets here. I was looking at Mets -1, maybe a Mets team total over, just because I didn't believe in Walker on the road, like Dami was saying. And I even thought of shout out to our guy Rocco Rogers, who's been cashing on this, like Max Scherzer to record the win here. But, I'll probably end up passing this game, I guess. The bigger bets on the Phillies does concern me. And I like the over here, and I might end up moving on the over, just based off the market, really. It's not often you see a total move like that for just 30% of the money, right? So I'll write down Phillies Mets over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay off of it. It's just it's confusing, and I have a double up on the next baseball game, and that these games pop off in an hour and 30 minutes or so. We all want to have action, but we want to have action that we expect will cash. Joe Yurkovich says the Sharps know that Walker advanced metrics are awful. He will get smashed.
Oh, man. By the way, shout out to DX Filer, whose birthday was recently. So shout out to DX.
Oh, shit. Yeah, happy belated to our guy DX. Happy birthday to our guy DX. He's OG, man. Joe Yurkovich says the Sharps know that Walker's advanced metrics are awful. Then why on earth are the big bets coming in on the Phillies? Is it the rec bettors making the big bets then, Joe?
It's interesting. Were you on the Phillies yesterday too? Or not the Phillies, the Mets, excuse me.
Oh yeah, first 5 full game, and I pushed the team total.
Yeah, I took the team total over 3.5 and money line. So that was nice. So I'm trying not to have that Mets bias in here for having that win. But yeah, I think the over is my lean and will probably end up being on my card. So I'm interested to see how that line movement works and all that stuff.
And shout out to our Noli Knows, says thank you, Jimmy and Jose and Pub, for helping me raise money for my under 9 baseball team. Says my team and I are truly grateful. If you can pop that in the chat once more as well. I was happy to donate, and a lot of us are.
I would love to see Noli Knows coaching a third base. Oh my God, how fucking hilarious would it be to just see Noli Knows just on third base, giving signs, fucking waving a 9-year-old in from home? That'd be awesome.
Oh.
I'd love to see. Maybe Noli, he's one of those base coaches where he runs all the way down to first base, lays on the ground, and starts just waving his arms down. I would like to see all that.
By the way, Joe was talking about the total. You're absolutely right. The sharp action all over that total. Barry Smith talking about how warm it is out there. Obviously, nice offensive weather, even though Ballpark Pal doesn't quite, agree to that. But yes, if anybody can who hasn't can reach out and help support our Noli Knows. That's what we do for each other. Big part.
Noli in full uni. Oh man, in baseball pants.
Let's move on to the double up spot for me, and this was all my fault. I was so caught up in those first 2 games and trying to decipher what the hell was going on, that I was late to the party on this, and it's too bad. But I got in at 4 and at 8. This is a double up spot for me. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 25-30, 13-15 on the road at the Miami Marlins 29-27, 15-12 at home. loanDepot Park, Miami, Florida. This time of year where we know with confidence that the roof will be closed. We have Joe Musgrove going up against Jesus Luzardo. Musgrove's got a rough start to the year. 2-2, 5.64 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, 30 and a third, 31 Ks, 9 walks, 6 home runs. But he just looked excellent in the Bronx against a tough opposition. 6 and a third, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 6 Ks, no walks. The 5-1 win. Luzardo also coming off a really nice start. 6-2 win at the Angels. It's a better start than it looks because we know what the Angels have been doing against lefties, raking. And the Padres are hitting lefties pretty well as well right now, at least in May. But Luzardo went 5 innings. He allowed 7 hits, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, and 1 walk. And now he comes home where opponents are hitting 233 off of him. He's a 2.57 ERA. Professor Chris says he's on the Marlins. Model has the Marlins as a small favorite at -113. Dominican Ricci says Musgrove's rough start against some tough spots. I think like Snell, he's coming out of it. I agree with that, Dominican. The Padres do hit lefties. 244, 772 OPS. Shout out to Dabber Cadabra in the house. Hope you guys got a chance to check out the night sesh last night, their first night sesh. It was great. So please check it out. It's on our homepage. Marlins versus righties, just 255, 703 OPS. Padres bullpen's been very good. I know they let their backers down yesterday, but that was in the ninth inning. 2.06 ERA, 1.06 WHIP. Marlins bullpen's been pretty good. Christopher Comentini says Padres here. Let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and the total. Again, I was pretty late getting involved, but at least I got the 8 and very low vig on the 4. Let's take a look at the situation now. Luzardo, looks like there's been a little bit of a buyback. And there has been. So this opened up yesterday, 5:23 p.m. with the Padres at -114. There was very little movement until about 9:30. There's actually been almost no movement on this side. It's now right back to where it started, -114. At 9:30, they got up to -120, but no movement on the side. Let's take a look at the total here. We have heavy movement on the total. I can't believe this has dropped a full run. I can't believe I missed this last night. Just caught up in my own bullshit. But this opened up 8.5 -113 to the under, and it moved to 8 at 9:42 p.m. I should have been on that before it moved. It actually moved back up to 8 in the early mornings, 3:57 a.m. It didn't go back to 8 till 5:22. It moved to 7.5 at 8:09 a.m. And now that 7.5 is juiced. It got juiced as far as -114 for a while, but now it's juiced to -107. So, the market clearly uncomfortable with the cash coming in on the under. Let's see what it is. Right now, we have 72% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the under. Markets showing concern. 71% of tickets, 91% of the cash on the Padres, and the line not moving. That tells me that Luzardo is live here. Noli No says under heavy for me. I love seeing that. Dominican Ricci on this under. Domi says Luzardo being fired. Can he keep it up? I thought he hit a bit of a speed bump, and that Angels game was almost a get right spot. Professor Chris says my numbers have Luzardo slightly better than Musgrove. I agree with that. I don't know if we can take, I'm sure that Professor Chris's numbers are more than this season because sample size is small, but I think Musgrove's better than the numbers indicate. I was sitting here this morning. I was like, if this is my only 2 bets on today's card, there's another spot that I'm quite interested in, but would that upset me? And no, it wouldn't. I really like this spot, and I've doubled up on it, and I need to win. Take it away for us here, Jose. Padres, Marlins.
Great. I'm glad that we're all on the same side here, seemingly. I like the under 2. First 5 under 4, -120. Here's the thing, and I talked about this, like I said, with Domi. I like the under here. I wasn't too confident. I actually leaned towards the Marlins here, sidewise, because the Marlins offense last 2 weeks, or like just from the 14th on, is what I've been doing. But 11th, 109 weighted runs created plus against righties, pretty good. I was shocked. But full season, they've been bad. The Padres offense has been bad. Joe Musgrove, someone said it, like Johnny Gunn's right there. He's going to say that his stats are skewed for the Mexico game. Really, for me, it's been just kind of waiting to see, because we knew Musgrove dropped the fucking weight on his foot or whatever, had to come in mid-season. So it's been, ramping it up, kind of getting into that regular season form. And now I believe in him here. Well, I shouldn't say I'd have that much faith in him. He pitched well in the Bronx, and maybe that was the start to get him going here. I just think the Marlins offense isn't that good, so I would lean first 5 under here too. 4 -120 is what I have. I probably shop around a little bit more. I haven't tweeted anything out either, so we can say that. But yeah, leaning under here as well. And of course, my guy Barry Smith said over, so I just have to fade him now. So under.
Oh shit! Is he on the over?
Yeah.
Oh, makes me. I mean, he probably waited till the right time after dropping a full run. It's. You have to have balls to go up against this big of a market move. What do you what are you going to make official here, if anything, at this point?
I'll make the first 5 under official, under 4 minus 120 or whatever I can get. Apparently, I say here's the thing a lot. So shout out to you, Lucas, my guy. And a little in my opinion there. Shout out to you, Chris, as well. I am also going to go ahead and make the Phillies over official as well while we're here. I've got that at evens at minus or over 9.
Well, that's wow. This is shocking that first 5 with Walker and Scherzer would be a 5. Let's give you that under 4. It looks like Pinnacle is by far the best number at minus 110.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. They did move it down from 4.5, so it's fine. If they never dropped it a half run, then we'd be nervous. It is still, you're right, the best line available, so that's a little nerve-wracking. Okay, Jose is on the first 5 under 4 at minus 110, available at Pinnacle. Excuse me, and then you want the full game over in Philadelphia, New York Mets. See if we can get you an 8.5 with not too much juice.
It's weird how this cap and shit works, Jimmy, because like 2 weeks ago when I was on fire, I wasn't betting any totals, and now the last couple of days, and I've done better the last couple of days, I've just been exclusively betting totals, it seems. So it's very funny.
Over 8.5 at minus 115. I'm just going to make sure that those are not stale lines over at Pinnacle. So just excuse me. Give me a second. Let me just make sure these are not stale lines over at Pinnacle. Get over to
while you do that, I'll shout out the chat. Appreciate everyone as always for watching. Slow Jams, Beefy, Dabby Cabin here. And Jimmy mentioned a great little promo for the night sesh as well. And also, by the way, he's going to be in a bass fishing tournament that Victor is going to record. So that'll be fun. Shout out to Big Guru, Lucas, Ryan, Christopher Comentini, all you guys in here as always.
And Razor, always giving Cab confidence. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. So I got in that spot here that we just spoke about. It's ridiculous that I didn't get in early, but I got first 5 under 4 minus 105 and full game under 8 at minus 120.
I wish I would have seen the 8.5. I had 8 the whole time.
Yeah, it was 8. It was 8.5 for 6 hours. The under 4 is now minus 110 at Miami, San Diego. And the full game is at 7.5 at minus 110. Big Ragoo says he does like the first 5 under in Marlins, Padres. So spreadsheet play of the day is in. It is the Mets first 5 minus a half. Mets first 5 minus a half for our Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play of the day is in from Ron Crawford. Go get it, Ron, and respect my friend. All right, we'll move on to game 4 here. Big show picks in the house as well. This is an interesting one. 3:40 p.m. Colorado Rockies 24-33, 9-19 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks, 33-23, 18-12 at home at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. It said yesterday that the roof will be open. I'm sure that is still the case. Let's just, don't want to give out information that's could be to the detriment of anybody. So let's just make sure that it's open. And it is not open anymore. So that's crucial. Yesterday, it said that it would be open Wednesday and Thursday, closed Friday. That is switched. Thursday, June 1st, closed. Roof is closed. God, got to keep your finger on the pulse of this bullshit. Things change quickly. Connor Siebold going up against Zach Davies. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Let's see what Professor Chris, he's on D-backs under last night. He was on D-backs under last night. Let's take a look at the total for this one. Siebold versus Davies. This opened up at 10 and it moved to 9.5 pretty quickly. Within an hour and a half, this moved down to 9.5. That 9.5 has been juiced pretty heavily at times. It's now just slightly juiced. So we have a move, half run move to the under. Let's take a look and see what we're talking about with the money line here. Pinnacle offering the best line on the Arizona Diamondbacks. This opened up with Arizona minus 175. They're now minus 157. So a big move towards the Colorado Rockies. A move towards the Colorado Rockies and a move towards the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and see if it all correlates. 64% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Colorado Rockies. Wow.
Oh, my God.
73% of picks and 70 tickets and 76% of cash on the over. So everything correlates towards the over and the Rockies. If you can trust Connor Seabold, he's coming off a 5-2 loss.
Was it Connor Seabold?
Yeah, did it switch?
Because me and Dami talked about this as well. He had Seabold. I had Chase Anderson.
Oh, it's Chase Anderson.
Had Chase Anderson as well. So, yeah.
Jesus, what a switch. Wow. Okay. So, Chase Anderson. So, I'm going to need your breakdown of Chase Anderson. I know a lot of people want to fade Zach Davies. 0-1, 5.68 ERA, 1.74 whip. He's only throwing 12 2/3 this year. His K to walk ratio is atrocious, 10 Ks, 8 walks. If you use the eye test on him, he's horrific. He's coming off 3 1/3 at home versus the Red Sox. He allowed 5 hits, 2 earned runs. The Rockies are hitting righties, and they're not hitting lefties. They're hitting 288, 812 against righties in May. Diamondbacks 258, 783 OPS versus righties. The Rockies bullpen 4.16 ERA, 1.43 whip. Diamondbacks have been pretty good in May. 3.54 ERA, 1.38 whip. It's definitely Chase Anderson because the books have Chase Anderson listed. So, I mean, I shouldn't say it's definitely, but the books have Anderson listed. So you would have to write, you'd have to click the button for action if you thought it was Seabold. Take it away for us, Jose. First start with Chase Anderson.
Yeah, and I never trust RotoWire with their pitchers. That's something they do fucking horribly about. They always fuck the pitchers up all the time. So shout out to Espen for that at least. Unfortunately, I like the Rockies here quite a bit. I'll be honest. I thought the Rockies can come out here and slap it around a little bit. They're 5th, 116 weighted runs created plus against righties in the last 2.5-ish weeks, like I say. Zach Davies, I thought he looked pretty good, honestly. And maybe it was the Red Sox offense making him look good. But yeah, I'd like the Rockies here. So honestly, my only lean here was Rockies' first 5 full game. Chase Anderson has just looked remarkably good. Last 2 starts, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and a victory against the Mets, and that was at home too. So that's even more impressive. And then another good start against the Marlins at home, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs there. Does it worry me? I guess could he just be a better pitcher at home? I guess, but at Coors, we obviously know it's a big hitter friendly park. So I've just been a little surprised to see how good Chase Anderson and the Rockies have been. So I lean Rockies first 5 and a full game. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I do like them today.
Chase Anderson. So why would he have not been listed? Yeah, he's had. And then, when the Tampa Bay Rays don't want you, it always is like, God, you want to trust whatever the Rays are doing. But yeah, he's looked very good. Very good in a Rockies uniform. 3 starts, been excellent. They've all been at home. You are right. So he got into some sort of a comfort zone at home. Yeah, Johnny K. A lot of places have Seabold, but the books have Anderson. And in this business, you trust what the books have. I'm going to have to take a little bit more time on Chase. I do not like the idea of backing him. He gets traded to the Rockies. He's got to prove to everybody he belongs. He gets 3 starts in succession at home, and then he comes out on the road. It's a little tricky. It's
first road start is probably where I'll stay off. So
I'll
I like I said, I lean Rockies, but I'll pass.
Bigger Goose says Chase has been money. Look, ESPN now has Anderson as probable. Okay. Arnold Estrada says Rockies are a big fade. Yeah, Sean. Look, the Rockies screwed me yesterday. Screwed me badly. But I'm not gonna trust Chase here. I understand why you guys, those of you who are. I think it's better just to fade Davies. So, but
team total.
this does not interest me. So let's move on. Great job, DC Capper. We move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. This one caught me by surprise. What do we do with Hunter Green's coming off his greatest start as a major leaguer?
Well, he did the same thing last year,
And then what did he do the game after?
Let's find out. I'll look that up right now.
This is a spot where historically I would like to fade the pitcher here. But Hunter Green at 23 years old could have finally found enough confidence. I mean, it never seemed like he lacked confidence, but man, did he look good. 6 innings, 11 Ks, 2 walks, didn't allow a hit at the Cubs. The Reds cashed for us full game, but we lost that first 5. Still made money because it was plus 145 each way. Red Sox. Let's take a look at the weather first in Boston.
Hunter Green's a fucking sicko. Oh my gosh. Looking at his game logs from last year is ridiculous.
80 Fahrenheit, 6.4 miles per hour right to left, but then it's out after an hour. Morgan Spooner says, can you trust the Reds bats against Sale? I mean, you can trust them against lefties. They're destroying lefties. Can you trust them against Sale? Maybe is a different question. Let's take a look at the Ballpark Pal's thoughts here. And this is plus 15% in runs. So it's a big offensive opportunity here weather-wise in Boston. The wind is not blowing out until about an hour into the game. Let's get into the line history here for this spot and talk about the cash flow. I want to start with total. We'll start with the money line. I was so fascinated with what was happening with the total in the marketplace here, and even with Sale. I just want to back Sale as much as possible. He opens up at minus 161. He's now at minus 155. The move towards Hunter Green took a few hours, but it was there by 9 p.m. So we have a move towards the Reds, and then from a total perspective here, we have an initial move, maybe not quite initial, but it was moving towards the under. This opened up at 9, and it was plus 103 to the under. There was a 9-cent move in the first hour, or 2 hours and 7 minutes, or less. Sorry, an hour 53 minutes. A 9-cent move to the under. So it was under 9 at minus 106 at 7:20 p.m. And then just constant move to the over. Up until they moved it to 9.5. It only lasted at 9.5 for 3 minutes, but then it got back to 9.5. When it first moved, the second time it moved to 9.5 was at 10 in the morning at plus 105. Since then, it's taken 4 cents of money. It's now plus 101. So we have a 9.5 here. So we have a move to the Reds and a move to the over. Let's see what the cash tells us in this spot. We have 65% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox, but a move towards the Reds. We have 73% of the tickets, but just 58% of cash on the under. So the public seeing sort of what I saw, like Sale and Hunter Green. Why, these guys are running nice. Why wouldn't you back them? But there's bigger bets coming in on the over, and the market is respecting that over. There's Sharpie in the house, says it's Christopher Allen Sale Day. Sean Pulliam says Nerfy minus 110. There's John Gilly in the house. Hunter Green has been better on the road, buoyed by that 9-0 win at the Cubs last week when he had 11 Ks and 2 walks. Chris Sale has been very good at home. Opponents hitting 186 against him. He's coming off a great start at the Diamondbacks. He just seems to be locked in. But the Reds are smashing left. Say what, my man?
He had a stomach bug out last time too, as well.
Yeah, he's pitching well, but Reds are smashing lefties, 310, 841 OPS in May. The Red Sox are not hitting righties with much power, 266, 744, and both bullpens have been a little below average in May. Take it away for us here, Red Sox, and DX Filer, but the Reds money line plus 1.5 both games of series, but this one, no bueno. Says Sale has been rounding into form. Take it away for us, Jose. Red Sox.
Yeah, I've been right there with DX. I've leaned that way. I'm just a coward and haven't made the bets. I lean that way again here with the Reds. But I'm an asshole. I like the under here too, Jim. And it's obviously concerning. that the movements and shit are going towards the over, and again, this is perhaps the classic first play you see, like, oh, Hunter Green and Chris Sale under. I will admit, I think that Chris Sale can hold down the Reds. I mean, James Paxton did it last night, pitched well. I don't know what to say about this Red Sox team. It's a very confounding group. And I like the first 5 under here. The Red Sox not hitting righties, like you said, the last 2 weeks. I think Chris Sale can dice up a Reds offense that, like you mentioned, is good against lefties. But I think that he can get to them here. So first 5 under, 5 minus 110 is my lean, and I think I'll make that official, even though it is concerning.
First 5 under, 5 at minus 110. Joe Yerker says they need 7 from Sale here.
Yeah, they're not getting 7 from Sale.
Yeah, this makes me uncomfortable here, but that's fine. I've got that 1:10 p.m. those unders here, and I'm very interested in making a move in our next game, the Bibby Lopez spot.
I've doubled up on it, so it's exciting. And by the way, like I said, Rocco and Sharpie, big K prop guys, we all know that. Chris Sale had a stomach bug last time out, and he got like 3 strikeouts or something like that. So I obviously expect his strikeouts to be back up there. So shout out to you guys, and I'm sure you guys will be on it. Like Rocco says, over 6.5 Ks there. So shout out to you guys.
We have the over 5 at minus 105. It's minus 106 at Pinnacle. Minus.
I'm on the under.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Under 5, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Minus 107 at my bookie. That is the best. My bookie offering you the best line. No, bookmaker 5105. Don't forget, we have. If you open up a new account at my bookie, type in Pub Sports, and they will match you.
Yep. You can also go to our website, pubsportsradio.com, and use the link there to sign up. Very easy. And Joe, I'm just being a negative Nancy. I don't think I'd be surprised if he went 7 and 8 or 7 here, because it's really stretching him when he does. But Alex Cora's got those big balls.
All right. First 5 under 5 at minus 105. Again, the Jays game, the Mets game, and this Red Sox game. My gut would have moved on those 3, and the market is telling me that my gut would have been wrong, and that's fine. Let's move on to 7:40 p.m. Eastern. 2 games left on the MLB card before we discuss Game 1 of the NBA Finals. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Guardians at Minnesota Twins. Guardians 25-30, 13-15 on the road. Twinkies 29-27, 16-12 at home at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A Ballpark Pal says it's a minus 7% home run day, but plus 4% in runs. It is warm. Let's take a look at the actual weather from Swish. 85 Fahrenheit, 13 miles per hour right to left, very slightly in, dies down to 11.3 miles per hour. Let's move over to the line history here for this one. I got the first 5s up. I want the full game. And I was thinking quite a bit about the over in this spot. And, I want to see Bibby come out and pitch on the road and pitch excellently on the road. And we all know what Pablo Lopez did at home in Miami. He's not been able to follow that up here in Minnesota at Target Field. This opened up at 8 as a pick'em yesterday. The first move was towards the under, 15 minutes in, a 3-cent move towards the under, then a move to the over, back move to the under. At 5:37 a.m., this moved to 8.5. Now, it only lasted there for 2 minutes. But overall, there's been a 5-cent move to the over. Take a look at the money line here. And this will help explain whether we think Bibby is vulnerable or not. Now, Bibby's a highly thought of prospect. Twins opened up minus 125. They got up to minus 136 by 10 last night. Right now, they're minus 131. So we have a 5-cent move to the over, a 6-cent move to the Twins. Sharpie saying it's a Bybee. So my bad, Bybee. Excuse me. Let's pull up the Money line. Oh, no, we've done that. Let's pull up the cash flow here for this one. And here we go. We have 59% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on Cleveland. Market clearly not moving in that direction, but big bets are being placed there. Then you have 71% of tickets, 68% cash on the under, and the market's not moving there. Tanner Bybee, last start, 2-1 extra inning loss at home. He was great. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot. Excuse me, 2.88 ERA, 1.08 whip. But he's only been on the road for 11 and a third innings this year. Over there on the road, he's got 8 Ks and 4 walks, opponents rating 262. I know it's a small sample size. You can say the same thing about Pablo Lopez. He's been very good on the road, but he struggled at home. The Jays just put 4 earned runs on him in 5 2/3. He's a 5.46 ERA and 29 2/3 at home. The Guardians haven't been hitting righties, but maybe yesterday was a wake-up call for them, or maybe they go back to doing nothing again. It's interesting when a team lights up the scoreboard if you want to back them offensively the next day or not. But this was a team that wasn't hitting. The Twins, 221, 711 OPS in May. Guardians bullpen's been elite. Twins bullpen's been pretty good. Take it away for us here, Jose. Guardians, Twins.
I like the unders here. And I doubled up on them. First 5 in full game. Again, this was not my favorite card of the year. And I'm not feeling the best about my bets just based off the market. Both of these last 2 unders here. But I like Bybee. Think he can get it done, especially after the Guardians, or not the Guardians, the Twins coming off of a big offensive performance against the Astros. Coming back to home. Think Bybee can get it done here and pitch well. You mentioned his last 2 starts, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run against my Cardinals, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs against the Mets, or at the Mets too. And Pablo is just one of my guys. And Jim, you just mentioned it. What happens when a team goes off the last day? How do you feel about that team? Well, I'm going to want to fade them here. I'm fading both of them, fading both offenses, at least with the Guardians. The worst offense in baseball against righties. So first 5 in full game unders for me, 8. Minus 105 is what I have, and minus 120, 4.5 as well.
I'll line this up for you. I'm on the other side here. I think there are going to be runs in this game. I do, and I think it's pretty easy to look at these pitchers and think that you're going to get a quality performance from them, but splits wise, they both are quite a bit worse, and we don't know what, but Bybee's had a pretty, let's go through his exact starts here. Why don't we do that? And then this might be a spot where I wait to see if I cash in the Padres Marlins game, but let's go over to Tanner's starts here, because I want to see him go out on the road and pitch well, and he did that against the Mets. And, I guess, he did, he's had 2 tough starts on the road, Yankees and Mets. His debut was in the Bronx, and he pitched well. He came back, got lit up by the Tigers, and then completely shut down the Angels. And, those are tough teams he's gone up against, Mets and St. Louis. Maybe I should just stay off on this spot. I think that might be the move, is just to stay off. Professor Chris says the problem is Bybee could easily give up 1 or 2 and still lose. Sean, looking at the Nerfy in this one. Let me line for you here on that total for the full game. We just had a big move at Bet Chris towards the over, so you can get plus money now on your under 8. Plus 100. I mean, there's some plus money at books that aren't legit. So first 5 under at plus 100. The market is. Imagine we're sitting here with these 2, pretty quality pitchers. You have 66% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on the under, and yet they're going to offer it to you with no vig.
All right, well, I'll stay off then. That's not
I don't know. I'm not saying that you need to stay off.
No, you're right. I mean, We talk about those spots often, and I forgot what was it yesterday. I think it might have been the Mets and Phillies game yesterday. The biggest like red flag flashing bet the other side thing that I see is if there's like a bunch of money on one side and they just keep on making it more appealing to bet that side. That's the spot where it's just like every time it's just like they want you to bet it because they know you're going to lose. So I'll pass. I know I cannot do that.
We'll see where it ended up yesterday for that Phillies game. But during our show, I believe it was that 88% of the cash was on the Phillies. And look at that. There was, sorry. So in the end, when it was all said and done, 89% of the cash was on the Phillies yesterday. And the market moved towards the Mets throughout the whole day. Professor Chris says, I don't think Bibby's very good. 4.22 xFIP, only 30% ground ball rate this season, 16% soft contact. Not great. Viper took Cleveland money line, so I think it's worth the price.
And if I was a better capper, I'd just flip to the over right now.
Well, I will cut this from you. Let's just see exactly. I think that, this is certainly on my radar today. And at this point, we have 84% of cash on the under, and we've not seen a move towards the under.
And if it cashes, it cashes, whatever. But I'd rather get off a bad spot than.
Well, I'll tell you, my bookies moved it to 4.5. Bovada's moved it to 4.5. The first 5. Will Hill's moved it to 4.5.
I didn't know it had a 5. I had 4.5.
Oh, it's all being. It's 4s. There's 4s. Oh. I've only seen 4s.
Oh, okay.
Let's go over to Pinnacle.
It's I'll do it, Jim. I'll try to be a better capper here. I'll bet the over with you. You thinking about the over here? And then sometimes you just have to, as Pete Loshak says, listen. I've got gigantic earlobes, so I'll try to listen here. I'll flip. Complete flip. Minnesota, Cleveland over 8.
Okay, the 4 is at -120, but you want to focus on full game?
Yeah.
All right. I'm very interested in this over as well.
I'm very interested in this game now because this could be a very frustrating game or a very satisfying game.
Pinnacle offering you the best line on that over.
Not a good sign.
All the other. So there's been a 1 cent move back, but this was the over 8 was at -104, and it just looks like money's been coming in on the under, and it's moved 7 cents since then. So
and shout out to Mike Gabb. I should probably stay away from this game, but let's try to grow as a capper here, because if we like the spot so much on the under that we're like we're about to double up on it, and then the market takes us all the way off of that spot, it feels like you should just bet the over,
All right, let's move on to the final game on the board here. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 30-27, 15-14 on the road at the Houston Astros. 32-23, 15-13 at home. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. How was the market not moving towards Framber Valdez? I mean, this was just shocking. Now I know his last 2 starts, were against the A's, and maybe they help his numbers across the board, but. I mean, when is Reed Detmers shone on the road? I mean, we just don't see him do that. It's opened up with the Astros at -196. They're now -164. A 32-cent move. And that's just astonishing. So a huge move.
Well, I'm assuming it's because the Angels are one of the better hitting lefty squads in baseball. I mean, they crush lefties. 4th full season, 120 weighted runs created plus. Last 2 weeks, 136, 5th.
So you would think that would coincide with a move to the over, but there's been a 12-cent move to the under.
That's hilarious.
Mr. Lewis says he killed the Angels on May 9th, 12 Ks. Valdez killed him. Yeah, this is wild. Absolutely. And look at what he's done at home. At home in 44 innings, he's allowed 2 home runs. He's 46 strikeouts and 7 walks. Professor Chris saying Framber only 8% soft contact rate this season. And then you have Reed Detmers. So Reed Detmers here, he's coming off an okay start at home versus the Marlins. And we know the Marlins hit lefties better than we remember. But on the road, he's got a 4.43 ERA. I know the sample size is small with 20 and a third, but it's shocking. Absolutely shocking to me. Framber Valdez coming off back-to-back starts against the A's. Last one, he went 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 5 Ks, and 3 walks. Yeah, the Angels are hitting lefties hard. 277, 791 OPS. Sean Pulliam looking at the Nerfy here. Then Astros versus lefties, 228, 712 OPS. Astros bullpen, 3.34 ERA, 1.26 whip. They didn't use any of the important pieces yesterday. And the Angels bullpen, 4.24 ERA, 1.35 whip. This is our final game on the board before we move in to NBA Game 1 of the finals. So let's take a look at the cash here and see if it correlates. We have 29. Talk about correlating. 29% of the tickets on the Angels and 96% of the cash. That's just wild. So huge bets coming on the Angels. The market clearly concerned. Then 73% of tickets, 86% of cash on the over. And yet we've seen a 13-cent move to the under. Joe Yerke says this line is too high to start with, so maybe people are not buying into the Astros tax. Take it away for us, Jose. The final game on the board, Angels, Astros.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Do
your thing. I agree with the market, shockingly enough. Plus 135, first 5 money line for me here. And I'm also taking team total over 3.5 at minus 105 for me here. Obviously, the safer bet is taking team total just because Angels, like we mentioned, against lefties hit them really hard. And Framber Valdez has been one of my favorite lefties to back in all of baseball. But I think that familiarity and that it's not a back to back. So it's not like you're seeing him the next week. But May 9th, like you guys mentioned, 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run for Framber Valdez against the Angels. So I truly think that he can struggle here a little more. So, I'm on Angels first 5 money line and team total over 3.5. First 5, I got a plus 135 and team total over 3.5 at minus 105.
So, sorry, can you get Angels team total over 3.5 was what?
Minus 105.
Okay, and did you tweet any of this out?
No.
So let's just see if we can beat that. Yeah, no, same at Pinnacle. Angels team total over 3.5 minus 105. And what was the second one?
First 5 money line plus 135. There.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing that it's plus 142 at Pinnacle. So we'll give you that you can believe in Reed Detmers. Is that difficult or is that?
Oh yeah. But I'm buoyed by those games that I've mentioned like 50 bajillion times at this point, where you just back the shitty pitcher and the market kind of lets you just have confidence in it. Lance Lynn, Adam Wainwright, et cetera. Carlos Carrasco last night. I don't think he's very good, but he pitched well. So it's just one of those things that betting on the shitty pitchers is not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes you have to eat it.
There's our guy, Jimmy Gomez, in the house. Love Jimmy.
Shout out to Jago.
I can't back Reed Detmers here. So I understand the big market move. That's fine. Keep me off Framber Valdez. That's fine. I tell you what, if I'm going to keep a very close eye on this Guardians-Twins game. But I've got the double up here in San Diego, Miami. It's imperative that we start stacking. And I was so close to the black, and then I've slipped up the last 10 days on the year. And
extremely relatable.
It's right around where we caught fire last year. And I expect to do the same. So I'm doubled up on the Padres, first 5 under 4, full game under 8. But I've had to stay off of the Jays because of this market movement that I can't quite understand. And if you want me to sit back and believe that Freddie Peralta is going to be excellent, I would just rather not bet. I'm not going to trust that, but I'm not going to go up against these market moves. Mike M says Pena RBI. He gets the Detmers, and he does it again tonight with the hot stick. That's from our guy Mike M.
Shout out Mike M.
Ron Crawford, MLB spreadsheet play of the day is the Mets first 5 minus a half at minus 119. The spreadsheet play of the day, 15 and 15, hitting at 50%, minus 0.17 units. Average line minus 103. It was a loser yesterday with Giants first 5, but now's the time for us to catch fire. Sharpie says they begging for Valdez K-prop. Be safe and tune into the Balking Dead today, where 3 games and all 6 pitchers in the book with 3 K-prop bets. I love it. By
the way, quick note, Sharpie dominates the K-props, obviously, but something else he does a great job of is like whenever those K-props smell fishy, he'll alert us of it, and it seemingly lines up with how that game's going to go. So
Definitely.
shout out to Sharpie.
Yeah, no, it's really, really helpful. Jose, you're on the over 8.5 in Philly, New York Mets.
Yes, great. Over 8.5. I got it at 9, so that's lovely.
Over 8.5 minus 115. You're on the first 5 under 4 in San Diego, Miami. I doubled up there. Colorado, Arizona, we stayed off. I know a bunch of sharp cappers on Colorado. Jose, you're on the first 5 under 5 in Cincinnati, Boston. That makes me nervous. I'm very interested in this Cleveland, Minnesota over. First 5 over 4, full game over 8. I'm going to see how this first game pops off. Piker says, did you notice all those early sharp market move games I mentioned yesterday all hit? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I was staring at the ceiling last night thinking about all this. So it was very difficult to sleep after being so right on some games. And Vital says, I agree Framber can be hit, but look at Framber's whip. So has he just been lucky? Asks
Well, he's a ground ball pitcher, you know. So and no shift would mean probably that he gets more base runners. So that makes kind of sense.
So Jose did the flip. We'll see how it works out. We should track the flips. TJ did it for me last year, and I would have hit it 70% had I flipped. I already wanted the first 5 over and the full game over. You're right to talk about that Phillies game yesterday. It was just pretty apparent. It was 88% when we did the show. It was 89% the final numbers for the money on the Phillies, and yet the line was moving towards the Mets.
Yeah, and by the way, next month I'm officially buckling and getting an action account with all the money and all the market movements and shit. Well, not the market movement, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, it's worth it. So Jose did move on the over 8 at minus 111. I'm gonna be watching that very closely. And then Jose's on the Angels team total over 3.5 and the first 5 plus 142. Piker says that's got to be key going forward, tracking those surface sharp looks and seeing the overnight movements there and trying to make a case for those sharp sides, especially when they're plus money. Absolutely agree.
That's what we're doing with the fucking Angels.
Well, that's a huge move. That's a scary giant move.
That's what we're trying to do. Shout out to Tehran.
You got to like that, though. 29. I mean, it's nervous having 96% of the cash, but only 29% of the tickets is eye-opening.
Are we officially done with baseball? Because I'd like to start off with a basketball thing, perhaps a wager.
Okay.
AOD has put this in the chat. This is the first time acknowledging someone mentioning something about the Heat. So congratulations, AO Heat. AO Heat, as I'll call him, apparently. AOD says, if the Heat win the series, Jose gets his tits slapped again. And to that I say, you're fucking on, AOD. You're fucking on.
This guy loves his tits slapped.
You know me. I love getting my tits slapped. Nuggets fucking sweep this series. Get this fucking shit out of here. Maybe we'll see this again. Maybe that'll happen again.
All right, let's move on to the NBA Finals. Let's get rid of the MLB background and get back to betting with the bag background. Let's get to work. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, NBA Finals Game 1 this evening and Game 2 on Sunday Night Live. So Sunday Night Live is going to be fucking magic. It's Dodgers Yankees. Oh my God, Dodgers, Yankees, and then Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I don't know how life gets more enjoyable than that. So that's what we have for our live streams. Yankees at Dodgers, Heat at Nuggets on Sunday night. But right now, let's get paid in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and we have just the man for the job. Please welcome from South Jersey, Mr. Billy Brisbane, to the show. Brizzy, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, man. Feels good to see basketball back up on the betting slate.
It does. It does feel good. This is going to be one hell of a series. And Chocolatey Waterfall in the house says Heat will win. Tori Coker says Denver's undefeated at home in the playoffs. They are the only team undefeated at home. And says, but the Heat are undefeated on the road in Game 1. Swiss says, are you a blood for the day? No, I'm not Swiss. No. But in this neighborhood, I could probably wear all red and walk down the street, nothing bad would happen. But Parkdale, that is not the case. Let's talk about NBA Finals Game 1 here right now. Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets. We're in Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Heat finally slowed their pace down at the end of the series against the Celtics. Oh, man. Excuse me. So we talked about their pace being high. That changed. God, their pace slowed way down. And the Denver Nuggets were playing at a slower pace than they did in the regular season. Both teams played in slow paces, at slow paces in the regular season. Okay, let me get my throat together and give a.
You want me to take it over a little bit here?
I'm good. Okay, here we go. Let's set the table and talk about the line history here for this one. And excuse me, man, I gotta get better. This is just awful. Flu in the summertime is just awful. All right, here we go. This opened up at some offshores at 8.5. And it's been at 9 now for some time. The 8.5 opened up at Pinnacle at a minus 107 towards the Nuggets. It's now at 9, and it's juiced towards the Heat. So the Heat are minus 109. You can get the Nuggets minus 9 at even money. Let's go over to the total and also pull up the cash flow for this one, and then hear what our guy Brizzy has to say. First off, this total has had almost no movement. You know that you are in the finals of your sport when you see almost no movement. Lines are tight. This opened up at 218.5, and we now have, we now have a 219 on the board, and it is at a pick'em. So we've moved a half point towards the over and a half point barely towards the Heat. 46% of the tickets and 88% of the cash are on the Nuggets. Why are they offering the 9 at no juice? That is confusing. Makes me think that the Heat plus the points are the play here. 72% of tickets and 86% of cash are on the over, but it's not moving at all, which makes me think not only are the Heat plus 9, but the under is in play. Let's just set a quick table for Brizzy. It's the number 1 seed from the West against the number 8 seed from the East. Miami just the second number 8 seed to reach the NBA Finals after the Knicks in 1999.
I think they're the first playing team to ever make the NBA Finals.
They are certainly.
They weren't even the 8 seed.
I saw that Knicks team play live in round 2 against the Atlanta Hawks that year. Denver has been so efficient in the playoffs. That's the situation. So efficient. They scored 119.7 points per 100 possessions over their 15 playoff games. That is the most efficient offense a team has had through 3 rounds of the playoffs in the last 6 years. They're shooting 49% from the field and 38% from 3. In the conference finals, Denver scored 15.8 more points per 100 possessions than the Lakers had allowed in the first 2 rounds. 15.8 more points per 100 than the Lakers had allowed. I mean, that is unbelievable. They rank 3rd in effective field goal percentage. They're 1st in turnover rate. And their assist to turnover ratio of 2.27 is the second best mark for a playoff team with at least 10 games played in the last 25 years. We already spoke about how they're undefeated at home in the playoffs. This starting lineup has played 275 total minutes together. It's outscored opponents by 9.7 points. Aaron Gordon is expected to handle the task of guarding Jimmy Butler. And if Butler doesn't shoot many threes, that task is a little easier. It's a little easier if Butler is not stretching Aaron Gordon out to the three-point line. The Nuggets have outscored their opponents by 130 points in Jokic's 583 minutes on the floor. That's the best cumulative plus-minus in the playoffs. Jokic, 29.9 points, 13.3 boards, 10.3 assists. Second would be the second player in NBA history to average a triple-double. Jason Kidd did it in 12 games in 2007. You have Jamal Murray, MPJ, and Aaron Gordon also delivering. We've also seen Caldwell Pope, hit huge baskets in these playoffs. And the question here for the Heat is, they only dispatched the Celtics on Monday night in Game 7. Now they play this rested Nugget squad at 5,280 feet above sea level. The Heat are the best fourth quarter team in the playoffs. They outscored their opponents by 16.3 points per game per 100 possessions in the fourth quarter. How is that going to continue when you're playing at elevation and you're playing against a very rested squad and you should be exhausted? Now, I'm sure they're not exhausted, but they're
exhausted.
Their 3 wins in games they trailed by double digits in the fourth quarter are tied for the most for any team in any postseason in 27 years since they started tracking play-by-play data. How are they going to be able to do that in Game 1, 5,280 feet above sea level? Now, the Heat have shot 39% from three-point range. That's very impressive. The starting lineup, the last 2 games of the conference finals, Vincent, Butler, Strus, Martin, and Bam, have outscored opponents by 13.8 points per 100 possessions. Butler's been absolutely spectacular, offensively and defensively. He's the leading clutch scorer in the playoffs. 39 points, 11 of 22 with the score within 5 points in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter of overtime. Caleb Martin's been a revelation. His effective field goal percentage of 68.4% would be the best mark in NBA playoff history for a player with at least 150 field goal attempts. He is 32 for 61 on catch and shoot threes. My God. Now, the pull-up threes are not very good, but still, catch and shoot is such an important part of the Heat's offense. Spoelstra's ruled out Hero, but he's closer to returning. I don't know if you even want him out there at this point with the way everything's moving.
Don't say that, man. Max Strus or Tyler Hero?
Right now, Max Strus.
You're capping. If it wasn't for Duncan Robinson, the Heat would not be here.
If it wasn't for Duncan Robinson, the Heat would have been here in 6 games.
Valid.
Take it away, Billy. Heat, Nuggets.
I think Denver has a huge home court advantage this series. I mean, they're unbeaten at home in the playoffs, 8-0. For the season, they're 42-7 at home. A lot of this plays into like the elevation that you were talking about, the elevation of Denver. They have the highest altitude in the NBA at 1,608 meters above sea level. And Miami only sits 1.8 meters above sea level, the lowest by far in the NBA. So I always like fading teams coming off of Game 7. Their historic numbers are absolutely awful. Teams coming off of Game 7 are 33-54 straight up, winning only 38% of the time following Game 1 since 1988. And furthermore, the series numbers don't really get any better. 36-50 win 42% of the series. At first glance, the number seems a little bit too big with Denver, near 10-point favorites after the Heat's last game. But historically in the finals, it's been profitable back in the home favorites in Game 1. Since Game 1, favorites since 1996 are 23-4 straight up, covering at 85%, and 19-8 ATS at 70%. And zooming out even furthermore, since 2005, 16-2 straight up at 89% and 15-3 ATS at 83%. So I'm with Dutch in the chat, man. I think Denver wins by double digits. That's my first bet of the card is Denver to win by 11+ win margin at plus 115.
Let's lock this in for you. Great to see Dutch Boy fresh in the chat. We talked about the late night sesh last night. Please check it out. It's on our homepage here. Let's get you started. Nuggets to win by double digits.
11+.
11+. And what's the number you get on that, Brizzy?
Plus 115.
Nuggets by 11+ at plus 115. As much as I fear for the Heat in the second half of this game, I do not see how they won't be live in the first half of this game. They're locked in. They flew right to Denver. We know that we talked about all the reasons we don't think they're going to be able to come back from those second half deficits, but they're locked in right now. The more I think about it, the more I want to back them early. I'm still sort of formulating the plan. What is your thoughts on this total? It's gone up a half point. We've gone up just a half point, and yet 85% of the tickets are on the over. 85% of the cash, 72% of the tickets. What are your thoughts on this total?
The total's a little bit sketchy because I think Denver is over team, but the Heat to win this game, it's probably going to have to go under, but I think this game is probably going to go over because I think Denver's going to absolutely smash the Heat. I'm also on the Denver first half try bet, -3.5, minus 150. We're talking about the altitude advantage, and it's really the net ratings. Denver has a plus 8.5 net rating in the first half, including a 14.3 plus net rating at home and plus 11.8 in the first quarter. I'm not really worried about the rust narrative for teams waiting around for the other series to finish up. We're going to get some long numbers, I feel like, this whole entire series when Denver's at home with their advantages, and deservedly so. So I think I'm going to take advantage of it in game one. And then my favorite player prop of the day is Contavious Caldwell-Pope over 1.5 3-pointers at minus 150 at BetMGM. He gets one of the best matchups in this series. He's shooting 60% from 3-point on 3+ days of rest. This postseason, he's shooting 41.1% from deep, making 2 3-pointers on 4.9 attempts per game, a significant uptick from his regular season numbers where he was only making 1.8 3-pointers on 4.2 attempts per game. And in 2 games versus the Heat during the regular season, he shot 85% from 3, going 6 for 7 from the 3-point line. So I think Caldwell-Pope is going to be the role player to step up for the Nuggets tonight.
He's been fantastic. He was so good against the Lakers. KCP over 1.5 threes. What was your Nuggets first half look?
First half try bet, -3.5 at minus 150.
-3.5. First half try bet, -3.5 at minus 150. So you are not concerned about rust.
We talked about it a little bit in the last series about how Michael Porter Jr. was so much taller than the people that were defending him in Austin Reeves and whoever, so they had to put LeBron on him. I think the Heat are going to have the same exact problem with Michael Porter Jr. because, I mean, who's going to be guarding Michael Porter Jr.? Caleb Martin? I mean, God bless Caleb Martin's been playing great basketball, but we're talking about height. Michael Porter Jr. is still 6'10", and some of the clips and highlights he's been having in the playoffs this playoffs. I mean, I think I don't want to go too crazy here, but we're talking about this. I do think I'm going to throw a little sprinkle bet before tonight's game of Michael Porter Jr. NBA Finals MVP.
Wow. Well, after breaking this down with everybody, I just feel like the Heat are going to be ready to go from the tip. And
they'll be ready to go from the tip, but look at the roster.
Well, the Nuggets will pull away throughout the game, but I just, I've watched this Heat team be, disregarded by the market for, a month now. And there's a lot of money here on the Nuggets. And, the idea that you could get them without Vig is, but maybe it was just lined right, and that's fair. On
They
the
got
total,
55% of the spread bets coming in on the Heat, and 68% of the money line bets coming in on the Nuggets. 72% of the money coming in on the over.
So I have 88% of the cash on the Nuggets, 45% of the tickets, but 88% of the cash. So all of the big bets coming in on the Nuggets. I have 72% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the over. So look, I think the Nuggets will pull away, but I just feel like the Heat are going to be locked in right from the get-go. Piker says, gentlemen's sweep coming. I hope we see early fight. I'd be surprised, though.
If you like the Heat tonight, I would go back to, remember we're talking about in college basketball for March Madness about how the underdogs were winning a lot of the race to 20s, and that was one of the most popular Vegas bets. I would bet the Heat race to 20 or 25 or something like that. I can see them winning like the race to 20.
Well, I could see I think the first quarter plus 3.5 and the first half plus 5.5 is excellent. The more that we broke it down together, I felt like it was.
It could be the bench, though, Jim. That's the reason why I like the first half, not first quarter, because I think there's going to be a huge discrepancy once the subs come in and stuff like that. Duncan Robinson was getting away with a lot of bullshit in that Boston series that he's not going to be doing in Denver.
I understand that, but, I mean, these Denver Nuggets have never been in a game with this magnitude. Butler and Kyle Lowry, these guys – they have been, and they've shown it throughout that there's nothing too big. Look, I've got the Nuggets. I got them right before the Lakers series at plus 230 to save all my future bets, to take care of everything. In no way am I sitting here saying the Heat are going to, be a really, really difficult out for the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are just an excellent basketball team. But here, I think I've made my mind up. I think I'm going to be on the Heat early, first quarter and first half. And then I also think the under is going to be in play. If the Nuggets come out and shoot 40+% from three in the first quarter, I'll be surprised. I will be surprised because this is a huge, huge stage. And they've been thinking about it for a week and a half. And I will be surprised.
I don't know, man. Jokic is in vengeance mode. He ain't get that MVP. He's been on a different type time.
He don't care about the MVP.
Bam Adebayo's little midget ass is not about to guard Jokic. They're about to get blown out tonight. However, Sunday, though, I do think they might backdoor cover. I think that line goes up to like 12 or 13 on Sunday, and then I'll probably bet the Heat on Sunday when we're on the live stream. But tonight, they about to get that ass busted.
Well, it's maybe true, but I do not think it will be in the first half. So we have very, very different action here. Also, Gambler's First Glance is in from Razor Sharp Picks. Gambler's First Glance is in, and it is the Miami Heat +9. Excuse me. Gambler's First Glance is in. And shout out to our Razor Sharp Picks. Top Crocodile says everybody thinks rest hurts, but history shows the rest of the team wins and covers. I don't think rest hurts. I'm not taking the Heat full game. I think that rest helps. I think it's going to hurt the Heat, but I just feel like the Heat are locked in right now, and they like playing this role. So I'm going to be on first quarter and first half Heat and the full game under. I actually have interest in that first half under as well. I don't know if I want to have too much money on this basketball game.
I
But
think
I'm not going
we got to chill, have a couple like leans, and then really hammer it on Sunday night's live stream because we'll have a little bit more information after game 1.
But after breaking it all down, I really think, and we both started with the elevation. And when is it going to come into effect? In the second half. So
I actually watching a couple of podcasts and stuff like that of different NBA players talking about playing in Denver. They say it's the first half in general because they say it's like the first 5 minutes of the game, and then when you sub back into the game is when you're like really tired at first. Specifically, I was watching Jalen Green talking about this on PG's podcast that came out last week, and he was saying it was the craziest feeling that he's ever felt in his life was playing that first half in Denver.
Interesting. I'm happy that they went over there immediately. So at least, this is day 3 waking up in Denver. But Mike M says Heat, the 9th team in 2 years to close series, is 5-point dog. So far, the under has hit the last 8 times in a row. I mean, I have the balls to double up on the under. I'm not sure. I gotta sit and I press the button. I know that I'll be on the full game under, but feels like I should be on the first half under. Look, I'd like to be on first quarter and first half Heat. I will be on first quarter and first half Heat. I will be on the full game under. God, am I going to stretch myself? I mean, it's the only game that we have going tonight because I don't have, unless I move on the over in the Guardians Twins game, which we will see. So, but our Brizzy Nuggets 11 plus victory at plus 115. Nuggets first half try bet minus 3.5 at minus 150, and KCP over 1.5 threes. Christopher Carter says Nugs team total under is solid. Look, I it correlates, but I'm gonna stick here with the plan now. So we'll see right away and look, Jamal Murray is he plays with no fear whatsoever. So does Jokic, but they're the pieces of the puzzle on that team. This is a huge stage, and I know that they'll be fine throughout the series. But will they be ready to go when the ball's tipped? Because the Heat are locked in right now. So, Johnny K says they're going to make Joker look unstoppable here. Can you touch on the Bam Joker? What can Bam possibly do here?
To be honest with you, if there is a person in the NBA that could somewhat stay in front of and contain Jokic, it would probably be Anthony Davis. I think Bam Adebayo is highly overrated when it comes up to Jokic. I mean, who isn't going to be? I mean, he's 6'9". What is he really going to do against Jokic?
Well, that's the problem. The problem is that Jokic didn't make any pass over Bam's head.
Not even. I'm talking about jump shots. I mean, did you not watch the last game against the fucking Lakers when he shot the bitch behind his head? I mean,
yeah, but did you see the Jokic's mid-range numbers? They're bad.
I'll give you that, but he
really
ain't gonna
bad.
be shooting a whole lot of mid-ranges or a little midget Bam over there.
Now, if he's shooting them from 5 to 8 feet away from the hoop, it's another thing. But
Bam
his
was
mid-range numbers are
playing against-
really surprisingly bad.
Bam was playing against Al Horford and fucking Robert Williams. That's a huge step up to Nikola Jokic. I mean, granted, I really feel like he hasn't really seen anybody in the playoffs for the Heat, like big man wise. So he might get fried by Jokic. I wouldn't mind anybody playing the Jokic triple-double. If you look at the Jokic triple-double, I mean, his rebound props at freaking 13, the assists are at 9.5, juiced to minus 160, and the point props at 27.5, I believe, at like minus 128. So, like, I think Jokic triple-doubles and they smoke him.
Well, we shall see. And Brizzy, can you join me on Sunday night, my friend?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It's going down. Make sure you guys tune into the podcast, though. Inside the Locker Room, me, Mills, and Big Show. We're breaking down UFC Vegas 74, Albazi versus Kai Kara France.
Oh, it's exciting. Thank you so much for being here, Brizzy. I like your action, and it's going to be really, really, really fun here. Dutch says Bam can attack Yoke offensively, but he's barbecue chicken on D.
I feel like everybody didn't like peep the we got the Nuggets fucking mascot on the wall, man. I mean, how'd you not see where this pick was going to go?
Yeah, I should pull out my Carmelo jersey because it's actually a Jokic jersey from the front. I should pull it out. I don't know why I haven't got it pulled out. I'll pull it out. DT says, Bam going to put Joker in the blender. Dude, goofy.
God bless him, man. If that's what y'all hoping for with your Heat tickets, is Bam Adebayo going off. It's gonna be a long night.
Someone's calling Jokic a goof. Okay. All right. I like it, DT. Look, this is going to be a lot of fun. So first quarter, first half Heat, and I've got to decide whether I double up on the total. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, Noli, I'm going to double up on the. I see very calculated. I could be wrong, obviously, but I see very calculated. I see what the Heat did in Game 6, 7. They really slowed it down. I see a lot of calculated, taking a lot of time off the clock. We've seen the Nuggets take a lot of time off the clock as well. And the reason why their games have flown over is because of their efficiency. Well, we'll see.
See, but I see it a little bit differently, though, Jim. If you really go back to some of those Celtics games, like the last couple of games, the Celtics were just missing open shot after open shot after open shot. The Nuggets are not about to miss those open shots. So who's to say those open shots go in and those are threes for Michael Porter Jr., KCP, and who else, and the shit goes over.
In Game 1 of the NBA Finals, when you've never been there before?
They're at home. They're undefeated, 8-0 throughout the playoffs at home, 42-7 for the whole entire year. What more do you want? They're the Warriors.
I want to see you do it in front of the bright lights.
All I'm saying is when Curry and those boys first started coming out and to the NBA Finals, not calling the Nuggets the Warriors, but that first little go around for the Warriors, everybody was saying they wanted to see it in the bright lights, and they were shooting them bitches left and right at the crib.
Well, yeah, it's Curry and Klay Thompson when Klay Thompson had legs.
Jokic and Murray damn near look like the same shit. Some of the shit that Jokic was doing in that elimination game against the Lakers is just some of the wildest shit you ever see in NBA history.
Torrey Coker.
I think there's a little bit of recency bias. We've been watching the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics play bullshit basketball for about a week now, like a week to 2 weeks.
Torrey Coker must have made so much money on the Heat because he's been hammering. Same with Dennis Garcia. Both those cats have been hammering the Heat in every single game throughout this whole entire playoffs. Mike M says, in all fairness, the Western Conference has never been so bad on the road as this season. Record-setting road losses. So I don't put a lot of credit in that home record. Wow, that's from Mike M. Tell me, didn't you say that? Says this Nuggets offense is on a different level than what the Heat have seen. Nuggets will score on this defense. Heat only hope is the layoff impacts Denver. This is exciting. We have Saturated ask, what is Jose Bouquett on in Game 1 of the NBA Finals? Let's bring him back on and close.
I got to get out of here, though. I got to record this podcast.
Podcast. Thank you so much for running with us, Brizzy. Much love and can't wait to rock with you on Sunday evening. There he is, Brizzy. Please follow him at @GettingBills_. Here we go. Jose, your action for Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Fuck these teams. Fuck the Miami Heat. Fuck Jimmy Butler. I hate the Heat. The Nuggets are going to sweep them, and it's going to be ugly. So I don't have anything on the game. I'm just rooting for your futures ticket to cash.
I expect that it will.
And I really hope to not get slapped in the chest again.
Mike M wants to know what's the blow dudes from behind play of the day.
It's a great name. It's the over in the fucking Guardians Twins game. That's what that is. But Jimmy, by the way, Jimmy, I was gonna say Jimmy Butler, but your name is also Jimmy. The Nuggets have not lost to the Heat since the bubble, so I feel like this is gonna be ugly.
I don't think it's gonna be ugly.
Game 1's their best chance. Good luck.
Well, I'm gonna be on them early.
For my close personal friend Torrey Coker, I hope that he cashes. My close personal friend Torrey Coker. But I especially hope that my other close personal friend Barry Smith loses all of his bets today.
He was hot under the collar today.
Hey, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I have that effect on people.
There you have it. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Tomorrow's a big day. We have a huge card. We have Dabby Cab. We are going to talk Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. That's what the show will start. Yes, even though it's on Saturday night, we are going to start with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The conference finals were not good to me. My run came to a screeching halt. But we're going to talk Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Then we are going to get into a huge full 15-game MLB card with Dabby Cab. And Dabby's out for blood. He's ripping it up in every show except for ours. So he's a very competitive dude, and he wants to improve his record here. So
he's working out again, so he's going back to the majors.
Please join us. Please join us tomorrow. Again, in MLB, one final review. Spreadsheet play today's Mets first 5 minus a half. Jose's on the over 8.5 in that Phillies-Mets game. Jose's on the first 5 under 4 in San Diego, Miami. I've doubled up on the unders in that game. Those games start in 20 minutes. Colorado, Arizona, we stayed off. Jose's on the first 5 under 5 in Cincinnati, Boston. Makes me nervous. And I'm very interested in this Cleveland, Minnesota over the 4-8. I'm going to be watching this market very closely. And, it's funny. I'll say this. This happens to me a lot. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but I'll say if I cash the Padres and Marlins,
you're just not going to make the bet.
I'm going to move on the bet. I'm going to move on the bet. But what happens is I count the cash, and I'm like, I'll just be a winner today. And I end up just fucking off.
Yeah.
But
Dabby Cap said the same thing to me the other day, too. He's like, once I win like 2 bets, I just don't want to make a third one because I've already got my money in my pocket. So
it's tricky once you've won.
No, but I feel the same way. If I was with 2-0 to start the day yesterday, if I could have canceled my other 2 bets on the day, I would have loved to. Just like take my 2-0 day and be happy with it. So
I love these unders and the Padres Marlins. Better goddamn come through. Let's get this cash. Thank you guys for rocking with us. June 1st. I have to have a winning month here, and I've started a spreadsheet just for June, and I'll be monitoring things closely. Also, don't forget, I do radio early in the morning on Friday mornings, and I have action for that show. I'm 10-3 on those bets where I don't really get to use the market. I wonder what I would have done with the Scherzer, because Scherzer looks locked in. He was in Colorado. He was excellent. I wonder what I would have done with Gausman and Scherzer if I had to have moved without knowing what the market was going to do. But I love you guys. Johnny K, Tori Coker, Wine Time Sports, Top Crocodile, Johnny K, Piffs, Perfect Parlays, UPK, Ayashila, AOD, Big Luch. Joe Yurkovich is on same game parlay, Nuggets moneyline and Heat plus 15.5 at minus 110. Andrew G, Christopher Commentini, Jake Burns, Spencer Penny Bombs.
Spencer.
Tell me you didn't just say that. Sky Dragon, DT. Thank you guys. Kendall S.
Don't forget about the horses today, too. Let's fucking go, Martin.
And Martin Drexler today.
And let's go Razor, his horse of the day as well.
It will be fun. Let's get that cash. Thank you guys for watching. Jose, thank you for your hard work. Balking Dead at 310. And then we'll pump out the Big Brizzy podcast with Big Show and Millsy. We'll make sure that everybody gets that. All right, here we go. It's time to lock in that basketball action. Get the fucking money. Leche. Hey, Los Bookmakers.